Chicago, the breaking news right now. The battle for Greenland, President Trump says anything short of full U.S. control of the world's largest island is, quote, unacceptable.
If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in and China's going to go in.
What's at stake for U.S. security tonight? Wei Zhang standing by at the White House. Also breaking tonight from Iran, the first protester sentenced to death as the White House warns it could take action over the deadly crackdown. What the U.S. military is doing to prepare for possible retaliation. And here at home, can you hear me now? Not if you're a Verizon customer. What happened to cause the outage affecting tens of thousands of cell phones today? Chicago Bears. And our Live from America tour rolls into the Windy City, where the Bears are dominant once again. What turned it around?
Live from America, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCoco, reporting tonight from Chicago.
Good evening from Chicago as we come to you live tonight, warm and cozy in the 11 City Diner along the South Loop. But we're going to lead things off from Washington, where President Trump had a lot to say today about Greenland and why he insists control of that massive island territory must transfer from Denmark to the United States. He is open to a deal, he says, the easy way, as he put it, which means buying it, or the hard way, which means military force. As you might imagine, both Greenland and Denmark sent officials to the White House today to negotiate, describing the situation as, quote, very, very serious. Let's get straight to senior White House correspondent Wei Zhang, who's been following this. Wei, good evening. What came out of the meeting?
Well, Tony, good evening. Those officials say the roughly 1 hour meeting ended just the way it started, with a fundamental disagreement over the future of Greenland. The governments agreed to form a group to work through issues, but President Trump says there can only be one end result.
Thank you very much.
President Trump insists the U.S. needs Greenland for national security, and he's threatened to take it by force if necessary.
We're doing the Golden Dome. We're doing a lot of things, and we really need it.
The Golden Dome is a missile defense system that could be positioned on the island, a key location to take out Russian ballistic missiles fired at the U.S. The self-governing territory of Denmark is also rich in rare earth minerals.
If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it, but we can do everything about it.
That message was delivered today during a high-level meeting led by Vice President J.D. Vance at the White House. The foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark say they tried to tamp down Trump's goals unsuccessfully.
It's clear that the president has this wish of conquering over Greenland. We made it very, very clear that this is not in the interest of the kingdom.
The Danes warn attacking Greenland would be the end of NATO, since Denmark is a member. But Trump argues NATO becomes far more formidable and effective with Greenland in the hands of the United States. Democrats and many Republicans disagree.
The thought of the United States taking the position that we would take Greenland, an independent territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, is absurd.
And Wei joins us now. Tonight, Wei, while we have you, we also learned the administration has made a decision about visas that will have a big impact on immigration. What can you tell us there?
In a significant move, Tony, the State Department is indefinitely freezing the processing of visas for people from 75 countries, including Colombia, Brazil, Egypt, Thailand, and Pakistan. The pause aimed at foreigners seeking to live in the U.S. starts next week. The administration framed it as part of an effort to block migrants from taking welfare and public benefits. It does not apply to students or tourists seeking short-term visas. Tony.
All right, Wei, thank you very much. To Minneapolis now, where the ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Good last week suffered internal bleeding to his torso, according to two U.S. officials who did not indicate the severity of his injuries. Justice correspondent Scott McFarland has more.
A week after the killing of Renee Good in Minneapolis, the fallout continues. A vigil this morning followed fierce overnight clashes as masked immigration agents by the thousands continue to work in the city. And after this incident, caught on tape, showing a woman pulled and dragged by agents. Meanwhile, a half-dozen federal prosecutors in Minnesota, including the man Trump named acting U.S. attorney last summer, Joe Thompson, have quit in protest, according to sources speaking with CBS News. Some over the Trump administration's decision not to investigate the federal agent who shot Renee Good, and to instead investigate Good herself and Good's widow.
The woman and her friend were highly disrespectful of law enforcement.
CBS News has also learned 6 others in the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division in Washington have left in a mass exodus too, amid concerns about the department's decision to block local authorities from doing their own probe. Renee Good's family attorney spoke with CBS News today.
The thought that there is only a one-sided investigation is really not palatable to the family, nor should it be to the government or the American people.
The wave of resignations show crumbling confidence and morale inside the Justice Department.
The pattern seems to be that the administration wants us to do work that advances their political agenda rather than evaluate cases based on the facts.
About the federal agent that fired the shot, Deputy U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche said in a statement there is currently no basis for a criminal civil rights investigation. That is a statement that has upset local authorities in Minneapolis.
All right, Scott, thank you very much. We're going to turn now to Iran. President Trump said today that his administration has been told, quote, on good authority, that the Islamic Republic is stopping its deadly crackdown on anti-government protests.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions.
So that comes as we get word of a 26-year-old man sentenced to death for participating in those protests, though we're also learning his execution tonight has been postponed. And MTS Tayeb in London tonight tells us about one of the thousands of protesters who have already been killed.
Tony, good evening. Well, CBS News has confirmed some U.S. personnel have been advised to leave Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar in case of retaliatory attacks. While in Iran, it's the 7th evening with a near total internet blackout. Well, tonight we have one of the first detailed accounts to emerge of a protester killed in the violence. Her name was Rabina Aminian. The 23-year-old studied fashion and textile design in Tehran, sharing a bright, creative life online. But after joining a major anti-government protest in the heart of the capital last Thursday, that young life was cut short. Aminian was shot in the back of the head at close range, part of a deadly crackdown by Iranian state security. Hilala Nouri is her aunt.
When they confirmed she had been killed, it was like my whole body was on fire.
Aminian's mother drove 6 hours from their home in western Iran to identify her remains at a makeshift morgue.
My sister saw hundreds of bodies lying on top of each other. All of them had been shot in their heads and their necks. She had to look at all of their beautiful faces before she found our dear Rubina.
Medical officials contacted by CBS News inside Iran believe the death toll is 12,000 and possibly as high as 20,000. What is your message to President Trump?
We only want Supreme Leader Khamenei's blood. We don't want anything else.
And as this crackdown deepens, Tony, the fear is Iran's leaders are trying to brutalize yet another generation into silence.
MTS, thank you very much. Back here at home tonight, the debate over transgender athletes and the Supreme Court case that could have an impact on girls and women's sports all across the nation. Jen Crawford is following this story for us.
Save women's sports!
At the Supreme Court, the justices grappled this week with questions of discrimination and how to ensure fair competition.
I mean, I hate that a kid who wants to play sports might not be able to play sports. Hate that. But a transgender girl will bump from the starting lineup, from playing time, from the team, from the all-league, will bump someone else.
2 transgender female athletes say because the bans exclude them from participation, they violate the Constitution and a landmark 1972 law, Title IX, that's credited with leveling the playing field for girls' sports. But the states say transgender girls can still participate, just on the team of their biological sex, at birth, male. Madison Kenyon and Mary Kate Marshall ran track and cross country at Idaho State University and competed against a transgender woman.
I know it's not fair because I stepped on the line and was beat by a male and saw hundreds of other women be beat by a male.
I mean, to wake up at 7 a.m. every single day, putting in workouts, running, going to the gym, and then to go to the race already knowing the outcome, it's absolutely deflating.
In California, a state without a ban, star transgender high school athlete A.B. Hernandez says she isn't taking anything away from anyone.
They swear I'm like this crazy danger to society, but just a normal kid going to school, playing sports.
The justices seemed inclined to uphold the bans, but let other states, like California, continue to allow participation. Jan Crawford, CBS News, Washington.